Thank you for joining me today. We're going to be discussing what existentialism is and how it relates to Rick and Morty. I'm pretty sure you all have watched the popular animated sitcom by Justin Roiland and Don Harmon, I believe his name is, and what they did to make the Rick and Morty show. So I have my 3 panelists today to really deep dive into how existentialism is used in Rick and Morty. We put countless hours in, dedicated hours to actually find out how it's being used in certain episodes. And I'm going to start with Glenn to discuss a specific episode that I think it was the Mises. Which episode was that?
Episode 1 to 5 on season 1. So.
Okay. Yes. So we're going discussing how existentialism is used in that episode.
So my philosophy, his name is John Paul Sartre, which he touched on a couple key things on existentialism. One of them was things are weirder than what we think of it, or things are weirder than we think. This basically what he's talking about. What he's talking about when he says things are weirder than we think is every daily activities we see things are labeled, purses, chairs, and as we grow, we don't really dive into thinking how those materials made and what they are, or what the meaning of it and why they exist. We don't really take a look at them deeply. So when he said things are weirder than we think, it's like taking a look at the chair and basically absorbing. Is it just a chair? Or it's just what is the meaning of it? Why it does exist? And then Rick and Morty in episode 1, season 1, Rick takes his grandson to adventure some space and trying to do this scientific stuff with him, trying to find out people's dreams and other stuff. But he wasn't present at the school. His parents went to meet up with, do family meet and all, like everything, every day we do at the school. You guys know, like our parents do family meet up and whatever at the school. So the same thing, their parents went there trying to do that and they couldn't find him. So they're like, oh my goodness, my child is not here. He's failing class because of the reports and all that. The dad was thinking like, oh, if he doesn't go to school, he's gonna fail math. He's not gonna be anything, because they have this assumption of Morty that he has something wrong with him because of how he fails classes at school and he doesn't pass. And basically, when the Rick came back from the adventure, show up and like, where you guys have been? The parents asked him. Yeah. Oh, we went this place. They kicked the grandpa or Rick out of the house just because of him taking him around. But when they absorbed that his kid is more smarter than he is what he took where the adventure is, because when they asked him a couple questions, he knows more than the students at the school. Basically what Sartre is talking about in philosophy is we gotta deep dive into and be adventurous of what adventures of like things, not just think because of the labels and just what society puts on us, the pressure, or thinking things should be the same way as we want, or like as they are, like labeling like laptops and clothing and people, and you have to be this way and that way. So if you are adventurous, you might learn more than you should, or you know. So that's what basically the connection with the Rick and Morty and my philosophy.
Which is like to say how Rick is like adventurous. That's what you're saying. How Rick is so adventurous, how he can teach Morty to look outside the box. Which is what our boss, like we just studying on great philosophy, tie providing that same mindset of Rick, how they think way outside the box. Can you elaborate more?
Yeah, my philosopher is Nietzsche, and I was particularly studying him. This is a German-born philosopher who was very educated. He became a department head of classical philosophy at his university at the age of 24. So this person is basically working on the idea of perspectivism, like everything, the truths that we follow from the society, the facts that's already stated as a status quo in the society, should be questioned, should be always asked. And we shouldn't always get up and follow Christianity or Muslim or any religion out there. That we have to use our own intellect and we have to also question the status quo. So that's basically the idea of existentialism. It is that you have an individual existence, that you have a choice, that you have a freedom. You have to go and ask whatever you want to ask based on your understanding of the situation. So
yeah, like question, like how is Rick? How does Rick portray that in the episodes? Like, is there any specific?
Yeah, I could. One of the things that I watched on the Rick and Morty that I always remember is when like Rick, this mad scientist, created a robot that passed a butter, and the robot was like passing a butter, then just returned it and asking him, "What was my purpose again?" Like, and the Rick responded, "Oh, welcome to the club." Which means that humans are always like following some path that they're not questioning, that they're not understanding of the purpose of life. And the idea of existentialism, or the idea that the philosopher Nietzsche was following, is that we have to question the status quo, we have to ask questions, and we have to be perspective. That the truth always said in society is determined from certain angle, and it can change, and it can change based on customary laws and trends and facts that society believe for some point of time. That we have to be curious enough to ask questions.
Bro, you agree with Abbas is saying with his philosophy?
Yeah, of course I agree with his philosophy. I feel like all philosophers who kind of follow existentialism, they all kind of correlate. They all have points to kind of guide you to ask questions about the world. So my philosopher that I was studying is Martin Heidegger, who is presumed as a really incomprehensible. He's German-born, so it's like he actually gives a lot of deep thought. And one of the main questions that he kind of asks, or one of the main points, is that he diagnoses us with a disease of the soul. And so he touches on three main points. And the first is that we don't realize, or we don't like kind of observe that we are alive. We don't look into our existence. We don't kind of look into why we are here. So he kind of just poses the question of why are we existing? So he tries to guide us into thinking deeply about our own existence and question. The second point that he makes is that all things in this universe are connected. So us and nature and animals in the world, we all kind of connect in some way, shape, or form. The third point that he makes is that we don't live to be free. So essentially, we're thrown into the world with prejudices and a lot of social norms that we kind of don't have control over. We're just thrown right when we're born into a world that is already kind of predetermined. And so his solution to all of this is essentially to kind of get us to all rise above those prejudices and social norms and kind of break society in a way. And essentially, he wants us to live universally and rise above it all.
So one of the episodes of Rick and Morty that relates to that philosopher, the Mises, like when they're, like you said, they jump into the world. Can I be like the Mises where they're just jumping into existence and having to do whatever like their purpose is given to them? Like, is that could be related to?
I feel like it can relate, since Mises are essentially, they're summoned using a box and they're thrown into our universe to fulfill just one purpose only. So it's kind of, they finish their purpose and they die, essentially.
And when you made a touch on the last point where freedom with your philosophy, my philosophy talks about where we free to live as we want, or we free to think as we want, you know. And where it comes, where he talks about faith and bad faith, people feel like based on their bad faith and choice, they feel like, oh, freedom is not given to me, and freedom is not given to me because of the choices they make, or they choose to believe that they don't have a choice to have a freedom because of the pressure of society and capitalism at the same time.
Yeah, to add a little bit on that, while studying the idea of existentialism, one of the main components is the freedom, right? I was having a hard time understanding freedom because freedom is defined in certain ways in certain society, and there is also this, the social science definition of freedom. And some people may say it's just being free out of slavery, that nobody is just not honoring you or something like that. And there's also this kind of society that says it's not physical. Freedom is basically ideal, that your state of mind is free, that it's dictating ideas, that you have your own capacity to decide on things. And existentialism might be questioned on that sense, because the limitation of freedom isn't quite defined by those philosophers. That's why religion takes a lot of credit whenever it comes to the current world.
I would say like the philosopher I was studying, it was this Søren Kierkegaard, he's a Danish philosopher. And like you say, the physical and like the limitations, he was discussing more about the infinite and the finite. The finite is more a trap-based mindset where you just relate yourself to the norms of the masses, and you become more depressed and you don't excel, think outside of the box. But the infinite, where it's the infinite possibilities, you're constantly looking at the objective world, like the subjective and subjective world. And he also left us with a powerful quote that I really love: is life is not a problem to be solved, but a reality to be experienced. And that's something that with Rick and Morty, you look at all the different episodes, how existentialism is there to say that you don't have to be one way. You know, you don't have to just be trapped in one world. That you need to look outside the box and see everything that's that's there. That is a number of opportunities there that you can grab. That you don't have to just stay on something.
And also touch on that, Rick and Morty, like it shows also if you have, the more knowledge you have about things or whatever experience in life, like how Rick goes different spaces, different places all the time, and sometimes he doesn't know where he fits in, you know, he doesn't know. In society you have so much knowledge, you know, this and that. Sometimes it shows, what I absorb from it is like, he doesn't know where he fits in. He thinks of any life has no meanings a lot of times and irrelevant, but he doesn't know how to make the best out of everything that he learns as he goes. So he always destroys something and makes something goes back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And that's what humanity is, right? Like when we have more knowledge, we develop something and we destroy. And because of the power we have, you know, and governmental and all those kind of stuff. Rick and Morty goes about that on season 3 and episode 7. There is a lot of that government based on stuff that are covered if you guys watch the show.
Yeah, to add a little bit on that, what really fascinated me about Rick and Morty is that it's a comparison of two ideas. So there is this fluffy side of it, very silly side of it, and there is this big issue that's going on in the family. So the comedy is like an interaction, an intersection of this amazing idea that challenges humanity, and there is this silly side of humanity, and the intersection of that thing. And one of my favorite quotes from Nietzsche, I didn't know that Nietzsche said that, but I used to know that from somewhere else. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. It's amazing. It means that like every time you come across any adventure, if that thing doesn't stop your lifetime, that you're gonna be experienced it and you'll be more stronger. Basically, you come to Europe, you learn 6 months. If you're not getting fired in the 6 months, that makes you a good candidate for Europe, for internship. That's basically what adventure is questioning every time.
Do you have anything to add real before we close out?
I just find it really interesting how Rick kind of starts off as someone who's really cool, but then further on in the episodes, he kind of starts to show signs of existentialism. He starts to care about his family and tries to hold things together.
Yeah, of course, it's like more nihilistic, more nihilistic view things. Also, thank you for watching us. I hope you got a lot of information about Rick and Morty and also existentialism.
And,
some
and
questions?
if you guys have any questions, we will take it.
Any ideas?
Any ideas, any opinions, if you guys like interested in any of the topic we talked about, and you guys can say whatever is in your mind.
I thought it was really cool how Gwen tied together. She started out by pretty much saying Morty's parents were still in this world, even though his mother grew up with the father that she did, she was still in this world that my kids have to go to school, even though your dad is like the smartest person in the universe, she still is in this conventional way of thinking. Morty broke out of that and ended up being smarter than, just as smart as his grandfather, so that was cool.
That's the whole point of being following this existentialism, right? Like, just don't be a Christian because your dad is a Christian. Just stay out of that and question yourself, question the world, and if that is what you really believe, just be Christian or Muslim or whatever atheist for that sake. Yeah, any questions, ideas, comments?
I got a comment. So which character in the show do you think shows more exorcisms?
Existential.
Existentials?
Okay. You want to go with that?
Which kind of Rick definitely shows the most characteristics of existentialism, just because he has that outside the box mindset. He's always reaching for the truth. Like he's never satisfied. But he already knows that nothing really exists, but he keeps pushing forward. Like that's the core root of existentialism, is to know that everything is nothing. That to know that you are thrown into the world as
Martin
Heidegger put it, but you still say, I'm still going to push forward. Like, I'm still going to keep going forward. And for Frederick E.G. also said that the overman, I can't really say it in German. I think that's
It's Uber, like
Or-
yeah,
yeah,
Uberman.
Yeah, it's like we here, like the apes make us, and the apes don't know that they made us. It's like an evolutionary process. We will soon make the next Ubermensch, the Ubermensch. So Rick is definitely on that path to try to chase the Ubermensch. He himself is an Ubermensch. He's godlike, very knowledgeable, he's very godlike. So Rick is definitely an existentialist, all of it.